What's going on, guys? It's pretty simple in life. If you're great at your job, you probably don't move around much. You're simply succeeding and meeting all expectations. So there's no reason for your boss or company to move on from you. They do whatever it takes to make you stay. But sometimes, even for some of the top pro athletes in the world, a series of circumstances leads to folks packing their bags and finding new homes quite frequently. In sports, we call these guys journeymen or journeywomen because they're simply always on the move. To qualify for our list, an athlete will have to play for at least 4 teams throughout their careers. I'm Jason Biondo, and today we present the 10 best journeyman athletes in sports right now. Don't forget to leave your video ideas down below. We will be looking, and if we choose your idea, we'll give you a shout out in the video. Make sure to subscribe to TPS and put on your notifications because we post videos every single day. Every day's a new video. Subscribe. And a big shout out to Chance Jonah 10 for suggesting this video. Number 10, Isaiah Thomas. IT has been all about silencing the doubters. At 5'9", he's obviously way smaller than practically every other NBA player. Oh, and he was the final pick in the 2011 NBA draft, 60th overall to the Sacramento Kings. Thomas, a 2-time All-Star, has been one of the game's flashiest point guards when healthy. It's just hard to understand how a man of his caliber keeps on finding new homes. Why won't anybody keep this guy long term? Thomas spent his first 3 years with the Sacramento Kings before he was traded to the Phoenix Suns in the 2014 offseason. Before the 2015 trade deadline, he was sent to the Boston Celtics. Thomas earned a pair of All-Star selections in Beantown and led them to the 2017 Eastern Conference Finals. But that wasn't enough. Boston sent Thomas as a part of a package deal to the Cleveland Cavaliers for a fellow All-Star point guard, Kyrie Irving, in 2017. A hip injury limited Thomas to 15 games in Cleveland before he was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers near the 2018 deadline. And to cap it all off, Thomas signed with the Denver Nuggets in the offseason, playing a reduced role as a backup to Jamal Murray. Through 2018-19, Thomas has averaged 18.6 points and 5.1 assists per game. So how did he manage to play for 6 teams before his 30th birthday? It's unbelievable. Number 9, Paul Stastny. The son of Hall of Famer Peter Stastny has done a fine job following in the footsteps of his father. Wherever he's played, he's performed as a reliable number 1 or 2 center. If it weren't for Evgeny Malkin, Stas would have won the 2006-07 Calder Trophy as Rookie of the Year, having scored 24 goals and 78 points with the Colorado Avalanche. He was one of the few bright spots on a Colorado team that struggled for the first decade of the post-lockout era. He had 6 20-goal campaigns and hit 70 points 3 times in Colorado. Then the Journeyman label became attached to him. He signed a 4-year contract worth $28 million with the St. Louis Blues in the 2014 offseason, leading them to the 2016 Western Conference Finals. He was traded to the Winnipeg Jets, and he played a huge role in getting them to the conference finals as well. But the cap-strapped Jets couldn't afford to re-sign him, so he joined the Vegas Golden Knights on a 3-year deal worth $19.5 million. Vegas became his 4th team, and his 3rd in just a few months. Good enough to be classified as one of the top journeyman athletes in all of sports. Number 8, Derrick Rose. Nobody could have thought that Derrick Rose would go from 2011 NBA MVP to journeyman, but sadly, ongoing knee injuries beginning with an ACL tear in the 2012 playoffs led to that path. Rose had to miss the postseason in 2012, and the 8th-seeded Philadelphia 76ers took down his Bulls. Sadly, the ACL tear forced Rose to miss all of the 2012-13 season, and he was just limited to 10 games in 2013-14. Rose and the Bulls missed the playoffs in 2016, and the organization decided to retool by trading him to the New York Knicks. Rose had a productive season there and signed with the Cleveland Cavaliers in the ensuing offseason, but injuries limited him to 16 games with Cleveland, and Rose stepped aside to ponder retirement. Ultimately, he was traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves during the 2017-18 season. The T-Wolves became Rose's 4th team, and he averaged 18 points per game in 51 contests during his 2018-19 season. He's now on the Pistons, so add another team. Here's hoping Rose will stay with one team for the long run and stay healthy once and for all. Number 7, Adrian Peterson. Drafted with the number 7 pick by the Minnesota Vikings in 2007, AP did practically everything the organization could have hoped for. How to 7 Pro Bowls, an Offensive Rookie of the Year, and a 2012 League MVP sound, and 4 trips to the playoffs, including the 2009 NFC Championship game. Peterson was the heart and soul of the Vikings for a decade, but a torn meniscus forced him to miss all but 3 games in 2016. The Vikings decided not to keep Peterson, and he was let go in the ensuing offseason. The New Orleans Saints handed Peterson a 2-year deal worth $7 million, but he grew unhappy about his playing time. Oh, and rookie sensation Alvin Kamara and veteran Mark Ingram simply outperformed Peterson. The Saints traded Peterson to the Arizona Cardinals for a 6th-round pick, where he'd fill in for the injured David Johnson. Peterson had some good moments in Arizona, Arizona, but he was cut after the 2017 season. The Washington Redskins gave the ageless veteran a one-year deal, and he repaid them nicely with 1,043 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns. Washington gave the Journeyman a 2-year extension in the 2019 offseason. He went from NFL MVP to a journeyman. But hey, it's working out nicely right now for him, so that's good. Number 6, Dwight Howard. D12 has been past his prime for a while now, but it's nonetheless surprising that the Washington Wizards became his 6th team in 2018. Let's recap the road traveled by the 8-time All-Star center and 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. Traded by Orlando Magic to the Los Angeles Lakers in 2012. That whole super team thing with Kobe Bryant and Steve Nash, it was quite a disaster. Signed with the Houston Rockets in the 2013 offseason, rejecting Kobe Bryant's pitch to teach him how to be a champion. Opted out of his contract to sign a reported 3-year $70.5 million contract with the Atlanta Hawks in 2016. Traded to the Charlotte Hornets as part of a package deal before the 2017 NBA draft. Traded to the Brooklyn Nets in 2018, bought out and became a free agent. Signed with the Washington Wizards, but multiple injuries limited him to 9 games in 2018 and 19. He was recently traded to the Grizzlies, and the Lakers are interested in him, so the Grizzlies granted permission to speak to the veteran center, and we'll see where that goes. All-star centers just don't change teams that often. Even if he's no longer elite, Howard definitely qualifies as one of the top journeymen in sports. Number 5, Michael Bennett. He's been one of the NFL's most underrated pass rushers for a while now. And being underrated often makes you, well, a journeyman. The former Texas A&M standout went undrafted and signed with the Seattle Seahawks in 2009. But the team waived him in his rookie year. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers picked up Bennett, and he played there until 2012. Seattle brought Bennett back in the 2013 season, and he delivered with 8.5 sacks en route to helping Seattle win the Super Bowl. Bennett earned 3 straight Pro Bowls with the Seahawks from 2015 to 17, but GM John Snyder decided to break up the Legion of Boom and begin rebuilding his defense. Bennett was traded to the Philadelphia Eagles in the offseason, where he lodged 9 sacks for the defending Super Bowl champions. Speaking of defending champions, Bennett was traded to the New England Patriots in the 2019 offseason, and with that, Bennett joined his 4th NFL team, enough to reach our qualifications for being a journeyman athlete. Number 4, JD Martinez. The Miami native was drafted by the Houston Astros at 611th overall. Obviously, expectations were minimal, and of course, guys who make the majors as 20th round selections are most likely going to end up being journeymen. Martinez first played for the Astros in 2011, and he suited up for 252 games over a 3-year span. But the team released Martinez after a frustrating 2013 season, and he signed with the Detroit Tigers before the 2014 season began. The Tigers helped Martinez turn his career around. He became an excellent complement to Victor Martinez and Miguel Cabrera, and helped Detroit win another AL Central Division title. Martinez earned his first All-Star selection in 2015 after crushing 38 homers and 102 RBIs. With the Tigers entering rebuilding mode, Martinez was sent to the Arizona Diamondbacks at the 2018 trade deadline. He performed well and set himself up for a fancy 5-year deal worth $110 million with the Boston Red Sox. Martinez hit 43 homers and led the AL with 130 RBIs, batting .330 and helping Boston win its 4th World Series championship in the 21st century. Talk about being one superstar journeyman. Number 3, Nick Foles. The man who will forever be a hero in the city of Philadelphia spent his rookie season as backup with the Eagles. In 2013, Foles took over for Michael Vick and earned a Pro Bowl selection after tossing 27 touchdowns against just 2 interceptions, guiding Philly to a surprise NFC East Division title. But Foles suffered a broken collarbone and missed the second half of 2014. He was sent to the St. Louis Rams in the offseason in a deal that brought Sam Bradford over to Philly. Foles struggled with the Rams and was released in the 2016 offseason, so he sat back and contemplated retirement. Ultimately, Foles decided to join the Kansas City Chiefs in free agency, backing up Alex Smith while reuniting with Andy Reid. Foles saw limited playing time, and once again he hit free agency in 2017. Foles returned to Philly as a free agent, backing up Carson Wentz. As you recall, the latter tore his ACL near the end of an MVP-like season. Foles took over and led Philly to a Super Bowl 52 championship, outdueling Tom Brady and winning the MVP award. After spending 1 more year in Philly, Foles signed an $88 million deal with the Jacksonville Jaguars, the 4th different club of his career. Super Bowl winning quarterbacks and MVPs are almost never journeymen, but Foles will have 0 complaints about it. Number 2, Ben Bishop. Patrick Waugh played for 2 teams in his career. Martin Brodeur only played for the New Jersey Devils. Robert Luongo will only ever know the Vancouver Canucks and Florida Panthers. Carey Price will finish his career having only played for the Montreal Canadiens, we think. but Ben Bishop, one of the NHL's best goalies of the past 5 or so years, has certainly collected more air miles than he could have ever imagined. Bishop was drafted by the St. Louis Blues in 2005, but he only played tiny bits of 2 seasons with the team before getting traded to the Ottawa Senators. That was for a 2nd-round draft selection in 2012. But the Sens had quite a logjam at goal during the 2012-13 campaign, so they traded Bishop to the goalie-desperate Tampa Bay Lightning at the deadline. Bishop became an all-star there and led the team to the 2015 Stanley Cup Final, plus a trip to the Eastern Conference Final. Bishop became a journeyman by our definition when he was traded to the Los Angeles Kings at the 2017 deadline. The Lightning wanted to roll with the younger Andrei Vasilevsky in goal for the long run. The Kings dealt Bishop's rights to the Dallas Stars before 2017 free agency began, and he was given a shiny 6-year deal worth $29.5 million. Interesting. In a span of just over 4 years, Bishop had joined his 5th team. He's only a top 5 goalie in the NHL, but who's counting? Number 1, Zack Greinke. Unbelievable. A former Cy Young winner, 2-time ERA leader, and perennial all-star. And yet the Arizona Diamondbacks became Zack Greinke's 5th MLB team in a 7-year span. The likely future Hall of Famer played for the Kansas City Royals from 2004 to 2010, winning the AL Cy Young Award in 2009. In the 2010 offseason, he was sent to the Milwaukee Brewers in a massive blockbuster trade. He led the Brewers to an NL Central title in 2011, but in the midst of a frustrating 2012 year, Milwaukee traded him to the LA Angels before the deadline, making them the 3rd team he had suited up for. In the ensuing offseason, he landed a monster 6-year, $147 million contract with the Los Angeles Dodgers, forming a lethal 1-2 duo with Clayton Kershaw. Greinke was worthy of every penny in Dodgerland, but he decided to opt out before inking a ginormous 6-year, $206.5 million deal with the NL West rival Arizona Diamondbacks. Greinke was then traded to the Astros. A lot of stops and a lot of money for Greinke. You don't see many Cy Young winners become journeymen. I mean, since they're so hard to find these days. I guess Zach's the rare exception. Who do you think is the best journeyman athlete in sports right now? Join me in the comment section below. Make sure to follow myself and TPS on social media. We post great content all the time. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post videos every single week, and they're really entertaining. So if you want more of me, go there. Subscribe to TPS because we post videos every single day. Every day is a new video. Subscribe. If you like this video, give it a like. It takes 1 click right down there. If you're a fan of TPS and you like our videos, then just give it a like. Like, why not? Of course, thank you so much for watching. I'm Jason Biondo. My knee.